Yep. Hey, everyone. We are live on a Wednesday night. It is June the 21st. Inge, it's amazing. And we're already halfway through 2023. Time
Hush.
flies when you're having fun. Yeah. And it's funny because, when you think about that, last year in June, we were talking about halfway through 2022 and coming out of COVID and how things were changing. We launched our Fulvic product last year, and that's been absolutely an amazing game changer for a lot of people. I know a lot of people are really loving that. As a matter of fact, it's moved into the number 2 spot in sales. Pure Body Extra is number 1. Fulvic Minerals is number 2, and Super Green Juice is number 3 company-wide. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Now, what's interesting is, folks, tonight we're going to be talking about our newest product, our Gluco-Control, and Inge has a presentation that I'm still waiting on, Inge. Which email address did you send it to?
WALL Allen.
It's one L.
I only have one for you. I know you probably have one.
It popped up though, right?
Yes, it autofilled.
Yeah. Isn't that something? All right. So we're going to bring that presentation up. I had the presentation earlier from Inge that I was going to share, and she up and made changes on me.
Alan, my brain keeps going. Why I said let's do this tonight instead of next week. My brain keeps going as long as it's not done. So yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you come up with new ideas and new thoughts. And so the good thing is there's Victoria. Hey, Victoria, how are you? Good to see everybody tonight. If you want to chime in, please do in the comment section. Please let us know if you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay. If you're watching on the replay, you can put a 2 in the comments. And if you're watching live, of course, we'd love to hear your thoughts. And as we go through the presentation at the end, we always take questions. So if you have a question during the presentation, feel free to type it in the comments. We won't answer it until the end, and sometimes it gets answered before we get to the end because Inge will cover the question before we see it or before we get to the end, which is fine. That's no big deal. If you have a question pops in your mind, put it in there. But what I was going to say, Inge, is with this product, Eddie and the corporate team, they expect, there's Betty. Hey, Betty, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah. They expect this product to be, there's a Facebook user. We're not sure who that is. There's another one watching live. This is Teresa and Lynn. All right, Teresa and Lynn. How are y'all doing? Good to see y'all. Teresa and Lynn have been with us for many, many years. They're a great couple up in, I'm trying to say North Wilkesboro, but that's not it. But anyway, that email is not coming through, Ms. Inge.
Are you kidding me? It went.
I know.
It didn't bounce back. It went to, I'll tell you where it went. It went to your Gmail account. WALANNE.
WELL at gmail.com.
Oh, WAL double L?
No, it's WALAN. NEWELL at gmail.com.
So 2 N's and 2 L's at the end.
That's right. At
Gmail. That's where it went.
And there's Michelle tuning in. How are you doing, Michelle? Good to see you on here. So anyway, as you know, as I go look for this again, our Pure Body Extra is, there it is right there. Okay, it just came through. Our Pure Body Extra is gangbusters. I mean, it has absolutely been a game changer for so many people and for our sales because there's so many people who are doing so well with that product. And so I thought when Eddie said that, I was like, oh my gosh, this product is going to outsell that. That's a huge feat. But I think that, the thing is that it's making such a difference in so many people that I think it's going to be amazing. So anyway, without further ado, Inge, I will try to my best to keep up with you when it comes to the slide changes. But if I get behind, you can just give me a gentle reminder, and I'll be happy to move the slides forward. For those of you who don't know, Inge's been with us now for quite a while. She's been a naturopath in the naturopath industry, and naturopathic doctor for quite a few years. I won't say that number. She can say that, but she's board certified in multiple countries and does an amazing job of explaining our products and understanding our products, and has a great team, an international team. And so just excited to have you on, Inge. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, and let me know how I can help, and we'll get this thing rolling.
Okay, Alan, is that full screen for you?
It's going to be in just a second here. Let's see. There you go. There it is.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Gluco-Control. And it is just like we said, it controls your glucose. We'll go ahead and take a look at the ingredients. It is an incredible formula to do what it does. So it contains plant-based enzymes that target excess glucose, organic mushrooms for blood sugar support. And that was exciting to me because one of those mushrooms I already have been working with, not just for blood sugar, but for other serious conditions. It's an amazing blood mushroom. And probiotics for gut and metabolism support. And I'll go into that a little bit more. So let's take a look at the enzymes. Plant-based enzymes. Enzymes are catalysts for all bodily functions. A lot of people don't realize that. They think of enzymes as digestion, but you cannot talk. Like I can't be talking in this presentation if I didn't have enzymes. Enzymes are one of the key ingredients in our bodies that keep us alive. So that's how important enzymes are. And Gluco-Control has a proprietary exclusive enzyme blend that works to target the excess glucose from meals. So the amount of glucose released into your body is reduced, and that helps to flatten the curve. And I'll show you a picture here in a minute. And some of these enzymes you can see here. I see sugar, sugar, sugar. You know, everybody knows, hey, sugar, sugar, the song. I love that, SEB, whatever that stands for. The next one, the heavy SEB, sucrase, alpha amylase, protease 1, lipase, lipase is really a fat digesting enzymes. Protease helps with protein digestions. Lactase helps with dairy. Protease 2. Cellulase breaks down tough walls of fiber. Alpha galactosidase, beta amylase. So all that is to help your digestive system work better. And that's why it also brings results for people who struggle with the bloat and the gas. So how do enzymes work? The first two are a unique enzyme that is newly discovered and converts sugar basically into a non-digestible starchy fiber. I mean, that's unheard of, right? It converts sugar into a non-digestible starchy fiber. So it helps to create a feel of fullness in the gut. So you have less hunger. That helps you not to eat as much, obviously. It also balances blood sugar to prevent hunger crashes because, again, sugar is turned into a starchy fiber. The picture that you see here on the bottom show you how enzymes, the two little dots that look like eyes, fit right into the blue surface. Those are receptor sites. And we always talk about receptor sites because that is where toxins settle and block communications in the receptor sites. Many receptor sites or many toxins take on the shape of certain receptor sites. It's like a key that fits in a keyhole. And when your body can't use it because of endocrine disruptors and toxins, the body stops doing what it knows to do. So that's kind of why I added that picture in. So here you see the curve. On the left-hand side, somebody's eating a meal. And after that meal, there's a tall spike. And that spike is the glucose that spikes in the body. The person on the right took Gluco-Control probably about an hour before a meal. And you see in the same time frame, there is no spike. The glucose stays level. So that is amazing. And I will go into the effects of glucose in the blood here in a minute. But it is very, very important that you don't have those spikes because glucose spikes are very harmful for every part of your body, including your brain. And we see too much dementia going around these days. So this is something that can help prevent that. So protease enzymes, they break down proteins. Amylase, like I said earlier, breaks down the sugars and the carbohydrates, starts in the mouth, in the saliva. That's where amylase is. Cellulase breaks down hard to digest fibers from food. I wanted you to know that by the time you are 50 years of age, 50% of your enzymes are gone. Okay? So if you're 60, 60% of your enzymes are gone. 70%. So it's kind of like a bank account. We keep drawing, and the balance gets lower and lower, right? If you drink with meals on top of that, especially cold drinks, you also impair digestion and you dilute your digestive juices in the stomach. So food is not easy to digest at that point. Undigested proteins add to toxic overload in the body. I see that every day in my office. People have undigested protein in their system. It is stressful on the kidneys, and it literally decays in the body. And we call that autointoxication or poisoning of oneself. Okay. Improved digestion means weight loss and improved blood sugar levels. So that your digestion works properly is critical. And that's why it's so important that we have these wonderful enzymes in this blend, along with the enzymes to convert sugar to starch, or to fiber, I should say, because I like that better than starch. When people think of starch, they think of carbs. This is not a starch that turns into a carb, but this is a starchy fiber, so it doesn't turn into carbs. Here is my favorite mushroom, chaga mushrooms. And I don't have the whole research here because I have 21 pages on research on mushrooms, but this is one of my favorite ones. So it works to reduce blood sugar. For people with insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, polycystic ovarian syndrome, chaga mushrooms can reduce glucose by as much as 31%. I find it interesting that people walk in my office and they're taking metformin for POS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I tell them that means you have diabetes. No, the doctor says I don't have diabetes. I'm pre-diabetic. Well, my comment is I'm pre-pregnant, because there's no such thing. Sorry. Pre-diabetes means that you don't have diabetes yet. And I'm pre-pregnant means I'm not pregnant yet, right? However, if you take metformin or any other diabetic medication when you don't have diabetes, it can seriously harm you. It can send you into a coma and do other kind of harm. So you cannot take metformin if you don't have high blood sugar. I just kind of wanted to give you a tidbit because to me that is just crazy. The other nice benefit of chaga mushroom is cholesterol. One study shows that chaga mushrooms can reduce LDL cholesterol, triglycerides, and overall cholesterol, and may increase HDL cholesterol and perhaps protect arterial health. For people who take blood thinners, chaga mushrooms contain a protein that reduces blood clotting, thus thinning the blood. So you might consider that if you are on blood clotting medication. Below that point, that is a clinical study, and you're welcome to click on that and research that for yourself. I just like to give you that feedback. The next mushroom is reishi mushroom, and it has been used for centuries in China to treat diabetes, to nourish the heart, enrich the blood, and detoxify the body. That's the Chinese language of how things affect the body, and it's pretty incredible the way they do things in China. So research concluded that reishi mushrooms can literally prevent or halt the progression of diabetic kidney complications, one of the major health risks in diabetics is that they can end up on kidney dialysis. It also has a regenerating effect on the pancreas. Now, how wonderful is that? It has a regenerating, so it can help bring life back to the pancreas, right? And one of the fractions was found to be very active in reducing hepatic glucose enzyme mRNA levels. And you may have seen this word mRNA with the current situation we've been dealing with the last few years. But again, it is a hepatic glucose enzyme. Insulin resistance was also improved, as well as a decrease in fat to body weight ratio. Another nice benefit of reishi mushrooms. Isn't God good to give us just a food that he has created to bring health to our bodies? Below, again, are clinical studies. Feel free to do your own research. It's a lot of fun, at least for me it is. Probiotics. Maybe not everybody has heard of this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into probiotics and weight loss. So research shows that our gut plays a vital role in every aspect of health, including how we metabolize food. The probiotics Lactobacillus gasseri, Lactobacillus fermentum, and Lactobacillus plantarum are included in Gluco-Control to support gut and metabolic health. Gut microbiota influences the ability to lose weight in humans, according to new research. Okay, the findings were published in M Systems, an open access journal of the American Society for Microbiology. So the picture that you see down there on the bottom is a picture of identical twins. These identical twins had everything in common except their weight. They were totally identical. There was a study done in St. Louis by a doctor who took these twins, and they did a similar study with mice first. There was a mouse that was fat and a mouse that was skinny, just like these twins. One was overweight, the other one was skinny. The only difference they found was in the gut microbiome. Okay, the mice were raised in the same environment. They just had different gut microbiome. So what the medical community has started doing, and I don't know that this will continue, but they have started doing what they call fecal transplants. Literally transplant fecal matter from one person who has a low weight or a healthy weight into the person who is overweight to help them to lose the weight. So again, that is something, I don't know if you have heard of it. It's been around for a few years. It is called fecal transplant, and it is done for weight loss. So let's take a look at your hunger. A poll of 1,300 psychologists cited emotions as the top obstacle. So how do you know if you have emotional hunger? Well, on the left-hand side, real hunger comes on gradually. So it develops because your stomach is emptying, right? It can be satisfied with any kind of food. Once you're full, you can stop eating. It causes satisfaction and not guilt. You've eaten, you're done, and you move on. Versus emotional hunger, it comes on suddenly. It causes specific cravings like pizza or chocolate, and obviously other foods as well. It just the specific cravings is what the point is here. You eat more than normal. You feel uncomfortably full, and it leaves you feeling guilty. We recently traveled, and I saw this lady who was overweight eat little bitty pretzels all day long. There was a bin sitting right there, and she was nonstop putting that in her mouth, literally all day long. Mindless eating, emotional eating, because you're feeding an emotion. You never feel like you're getting enough. So this does come with the feel of guilt. And I just want you to be able to distinguish which way you're going, because we can help with emotional hunger. Okay. So what type of overeater are you? You're compulsive, constantly thinking about food. What is the next thing that you want to eat? Or are you impulsive, easily distracted, always dieting? Or a combination of impulsive and compulsive? SAD, sad. Sad. If you're sad, food calms the storms in the brain. Okay? It is an emotional nourishment. If you're anxious, frequently nervous and or anxious, also people get hungry and want to eat to satisfy that particular emotion. So it's important that we become aware of the reason we are eating. When we see, there was somebody in Guatemala when I was there in December, and the parents asked me for help with their son, who was a diabetic in his 20s, tremendously overweight. And I observed him several times as he was eating, and he was a tremendous emotional eater. He was chowing down on that food like it was, I don't know how to even describe it. And I told the parents, I said, I cannot help him. I can tell him what to eat, but he eats to feed emotions. And they both agreed. So, sometimes we can help when somebody's that far away. It's a little bit more difficult, but become aware of why you're eating and what you're trying to feed. The word diabetes means to flow through. And we always say It means having lost the sweetness of life. So people who've lost the sweetness of life feed it with food, which causes the diabetes. So what are some of the effects of sugar? Sugar turns your blood into syrup, causing damage to the arterial walls. When they get damaged, the body comes to its aid and starts to patch the damages, causing plaque. And these are things like platelets, and other parts of the blood that just stick to those wounded areas and builds up that plaque. Plaque can break loose and can go to the brain, that's a stroke, or to the heart. In that case, it's a heart attack. Here, this is something powerful. Researchers calculated that each 5-year earlier onset of diabetes was associated with a 24% increased risk of dementia. So, in other words, say you are on a path to become diabetic at age 55, but you increase your sugar intake and you're actually becoming diabetic at age 50, that means that those 5 years added a 24% increased risk for dementia. Sugar is acid, okay? Acid eats away on your brain and everything else, your bones, everything else in the body. That is why also you will see an increased risk of various bone and joint disorders and nerve damage, diabetic neuropathy or loss of eyesight and amputation even, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. And like we mentioned earlier, also the kidney damage. So these are just some of the effects of sugar. So who can benefit from gluco-control? People who want to lose weight. Okay, there's a lot of people, and I was one of those people before it came out, asking a lot of questions because not everybody is a diabetic. Okay, not everybody has high levels of glucose, but it doesn't matter because it's just enzymes, mushrooms, and probiotics. So people who want to lose weight, absolutely take this product. It works. It really does. People who have blood sugar problems. Okay, whether you have high blood sugar, low blood sugar, it doesn't matter. I was hesitant in taking it because I have suffered from hypoglycemia or low blood sugar and become very weak and shaky and faint. I have not had any problems with this product. Now let's take a look at something you may not think about. People who have yeast overgrowth. Yeast overgrowth is easily recognized. Of course, women are familiar with yeast infections, but recurrent infections, whether that is sinus, whether that is bladder, or whatever that is, recurrent infections is yeast overgrowth. And yeast feeds on sugar. That is why you love sugar. You're always craving it because it's trying to feed the yeasty beasties, as we call them. People who have abnormal cells, okay? There are conditions where people have abnormal cells growing in their body. These cells multiply on sugar. These people, a lot of times they have to have their ice cream every day. Well, when you take in sugar and you have abnormal cells, imagine this in your mind. It is like pouring fuel on a fire. That is how those abnormal cells start spreading when you ingest sugar. So very important. That could help save lives in that particular area, right? It can help people who crave sweets because it does reduce sweet cravings. People who have insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is inflammation, right? The receptor sites are not working. People with alcohol dependencies. Alcoholics have a sugar imbalance. I don't know how many people are aware of that, but you can recognize a child from an alcoholic parent by the fact that the child will always crave sweets, always looking for candy. I remember my daughter dating somebody in high school, and they went to International House of Pancakes, or IHOP, whatever it's called these days, and he would literally drink the syrup from the bottle. And the father was an alcoholic, but he was a dry alcoholic. But still, you see that pattern. It's there. That is a sign of alcoholism, and that is something that you're born with. It does run in families. Not that we can't help that, but that is just a way to recognize that, okay? It is good for people who feel hungry outside of meal times. You know, we grew up on 3 square meals a day. There were no snacks. These days, everybody has snack food in the house. Why? If you eat 3 square meals a day, why do you need to snack? That is just excess, okay? And then it's good for people who overeat. We don't need to eat more. Do you know that every calorie that you eat that your body doesn't burn turns into estrogen? Why there is so much breast cancer in this country. every excess calorie turns into estrogen. So let's help those people stop overeating, right? By having them feel more satisfied. The picture that you see at the top right corner, you see that's the brain. The one on the left says sugar, the one on the right says cocaine. The reason I put that there, I wanted you to see that sugar and cocaine go to the same areas of the brain. It feeds those very same areas. That is why sugar is so addictive. Just some food for thought. So we can accelerate and power up this weight loss journey, right? And how can we do that? We can add Boost. Boost is an incredible product. It's $49.95 on auto ship. It increases metabolism. It helps with focus and energy without the side effects of caffeine. I love this product. I was trying to get some classes done for weight loss. I'm creating a series of classes to help support people. And I took some Boost because I'd had a night where my brain didn't stop working and I needed to be able to focus and I needed some energy, and it never hurts to increase my metabolism. So it doesn't give me the jitters. It's a very nice, gentle formula that helps you to lose some more weight. And then a breakfast shake. I have a group of people that are Hispanic that are drinking protein shake, and they're all losing weight. Even the ones that don't want to lose weight said they're losing weight because it replaces a lot of carbs that people have in their diet, right? So the breakfast shake is the organic super protein. There are 20 servings in a container for $45. Now, where can you get a meal for $2 and some cents, right? A healthy meal, an organic healthy meal. So it's a great deal. So why is protein important for breakfast especially? It balances blood sugar. You need protein within 30 to 45 minutes of getting up to balance the blood sugar. Otherwise, you're on a cycle all day long where you're craving and you want a snack. It also builds the immune system if you take it in the morning. It builds your brain and it builds your adrenal glands. It does more than that, but those are just some key factors that only take place in the morning, and they require protein. So if you don't eat protein in the morning, the body can't do this. Then the organic super greens. Love my greens. We have had a saying for many years that says, if you're green inside, you're clean inside. And if you watch the stool when you go, you will know if you're green inside, right? The organic super greens are $67 for 30 servings. You can order a 3-pack. The price drops $10, or you can order a 5-pack and the price drops $20 per container. Green drinks help with weight loss because it balances pH. A number of years ago, there was a real craze going around that was on, those gossip magazines that you see in stands here and there. They even had articles on it, people losing weight by drinking green drinks. Because when your pH is imbalanced, your enzymes work. And that is how you lose weight. And then fulvic detox pack is another part of the weight loss program that I talk about, because fat cells are storehouses for toxins. When you eliminate fat cells, toxins are dumped into the body and can cause you to plateau. We've heard the word plateau. People say, oh, I've lost 20 pounds. I can't lose anymore. That's your body is overloaded with toxins. So step up on the fulvic detox pack. The Pure Body Extra that Alan was talking about is an incredible detox. And the fulvic also contains zeolite, which detoxes. I'll share something with you. I do iridology, so I take pictures of people's irises. And I have seen a huge difference for the first time ever in the eye color of people, going from, a lot of dark brown color around the pupil, which is the digestive system and the colon, to no brown color at all in the eyes. People who've taken, taken cleanses, there's a difference. Taken cleanses for years and years and years and never got that kind of result. They are getting that kind of result with this detox pack. It's pretty amazing. So now we're going to take a look at the inner self. Love yourself, right? If you love yourself, you take care of yourself. So don't indulge the inner critic. We are our own worst enemy. There's no need for that. We are made beautiful. The Bible says that we're made in the image of God. How can you not love the image of God, right? Identify and overcome negative self-talk. Start talking positive to yourself. You know, I like to speak scripture over myself. You know, I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. That's what the Bible says. So don't listen to negative self-talk. Recognize your personal positive traits aside from your appearance. We all have gifts. You know, I've said many times, if I had to make a living running a cash register, I would be homeless because I would have no clue how to do that. People always say, well, I can't do what you do. Well, I can't do what you do either. You know, we all have different gifts, and one gift is as important as the other. Connect with a strong social support group. You know, we have so many social media support groups, and, you know, even support groups in person. I may start doing something here at the clubhouse. I'm not sure, you know, if I can manage that time wise, but I'm thinking about it. And then address the underlying emotional issues. Why do you feel that way? Why do you struggle? Every day is a beautiful day. And yes, not every day is easy. And sometimes things come at us from every direction. But you know what? God is able to overcome them all. You know, my faith obviously is a strong part of my walk and what I do and what I believe. But the other part of what I do, you see that picture of the lady with the glasses on, the white, and the headphones. That is something that I use on a daily basis. And there is a link right there, if that is okay. I hope so, with Alan, to get a brain tap. And the brain tap reprograms the brain, and it really makes a huge difference. My husband does it every morning. I do it every morning. I have to reprogram the brain because we all have experiences in our life that are not positive and that give us a different perspective. But that is not the real perspective. So let's reprogram that and let's become positive and have a positive outlook, because every time you have a negative thought, your pH in your body becomes acid. When you become acid, it's difficult to lose weight. We need to keep our body in balance. So talk to yourself and listen to yourself. And now I'm ready for Q&A if anybody has any questions. Can't hear you.
That's because I was muted out, but now I'm not. So one of the things that you mentioned that is interesting is, as you know, and I think anybody who follows me or watches me knows that my mom has dementia. And I record her, and she always took vitamins, always took supplements. She was a nurse. She worked in the medical field, and she always did the quizzes and the puzzles and all. She said, "That's got to keep my brain sharp." But you said something that's interesting. Is she was diagnosed with prediabetes when she was 64 years old, and when she was 75 or 76 is when she was diagnosed with dementia. And interestingly enough, is I don't think she was ever on insulin or ever on any drugs, but at the same time dealt with that blood sugar issue the whole time. And you know, the doctors have said to me that I was pre-diabetic, and as you said, I can't be pre-pregnant or partially pregnant. I'm either diabetic or not. And I have had an experience that my blood sugar spikes at night, and one night it spiked about 12:30 in the morning, and literally I thought I was having a heart attack, called 911. They came in and stuck my finger, and the guy says, "You're diabetic, right?" And I said, "No." He said, "Your blood sugar is 210. 210. So there, I mean, there's great information here and great stuff. You know, dementia and Alzheimer's is on a rapid growth and pace. And guess what else is on a rapid growth and pace, as you know, is sugars in everything.
Yeah. Well, just corn syrup. You know, I posted something on Facebook here a little while back about corn syrup or high fructose corn syrup. It has basically the same effect on the brain.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's like feeding on cocaine.
Yeah.
If somebody struggles with low blood sugar, will this product help normalize the level? It helps to reduce sugar cravings. So low blood sugar is a precursor to diabetes. Just be aware of that. It's a precursor to diabetes. Okay. Can also be caused by stress. So does Gluco-Control?
Were you finished with your statement on that? I didn't want to interrupt you.
I think so, unless there is another question. You know, it doesn't. It does help cravings. I'm just saying that low blood sugar is a precursor to high blood sugar.
Right.
So you're already on that venue, so to speak, even though you're on the other end of it. It's just as dangerous. There's something of balance.
Yeah. This is an interesting question.
Does Gluco-Control negate consuming actual sugar? I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to ask. What they're
Well, let me give you an example, and I don't know who this is, and I'm not trying to make fun of the question because it's a really good question. But I remember there was a product when everybody started going keto, and they came out with these keto pills, right?
correct.
And everybody's going, oh, you got to take these pills because they'll put your body in ketosis. And I remember the founder of the company, because somebody was telling me about it, and I was looking, I was curious about, weight loss and keto. It was new, right? New on the market. And I remember the founder of the company showed himself at a restaurant with a big plate with a cheeseburger, giant cheeseburger, French fries covered in chili and cheese. And he said, what the F? I'm going to take these pills and be in ketosis in 30 minutes anyway. And I thought, wow. And so the comment was, and I think they're kind of saying, if you're a large, I would guess they're saying if you're a large consumer of sugar, then will this fix that problem?
Yeah, I guess my thoughts as I'm trying to mull this over in my head, my thought is that if you consume high levels of sugar, I would take high levels of Gluco-Control. It depends on the volume of sugar that you ingest. All carbohydrates turn to sugar, some slower, some faster. Like lentils are very high in fiber, but it also contains carbohydrates. If you, I'm getting kind of geeky here, and I apologize if I'm getting too geeky, but if you sprout them, they're actually protein. If you boil them, they break down into a starch. So, just some food for thought. It really makes a difference. It all depends on, again, back to your question, it all depends on the amount of sugar you're taking. If you take in the amount of sugar that can be controlled with 2 capsules, yes, it negates. If you take in high levels of sugar, you need a little bit more help there.
Yeah. And there's a book out called Glucose Revolution by Jesse, and the last name is Inchauspe. I'll put that in the comments. But I've learned so much. I'm a listener, not a reader, so I listen to it on Audible, and I've listened to it once, and I started listening to it again, and haven't, and then switched off to another book that I'm listening to now called Love and Respect. But that's got some great information in there too. And here's the next question, which is, hey guys, I understand we are to take this product before a meal, 1.5 hours. Is it wasted if we take it with a meal? Should we just skip it completely if we forget, or wait to the next meal?
So not 1.5 hours. I do 30 to 60 minutes before a meal, and yes, it works. It's not completely wasted with a meal. But, I've caught myself several times. I'm busy doing consultations all morning long, and it's like, oh, I have a 30-minute break. I need to eat. I will take the 2 capsules, and I will wait 15 minutes, and then I will eat. What it does, it goes to the gut, and it helps you to feel fuller when it's in the gut. So I like to give it a little bit of time because it really does help satisfy you where you don't want to eat as much. And I think, if you can wait an hour, it works better, but it's not wasted if you can't do a whole hour before a meal.
Gotcha. Does it erase any sugar I ate?
Not yesterday, unless it's still in the bloodstream. Sugar is pretty quickly metabolized.
Yeah. You can't eat a box of Oreos and take some Gluco and be good. That doesn't work.
That doesn't work. So yeah, let's not take it to an extreme and go crazy eating sugar and taking Gluco-Control, because there's such thing as common sense. But if you take the Gluco-Control before you eat the sugar, it can, depending on the amount of sugar, yes, it can literally erase the sugar.
Yeah.
The dose before each meal is 2 capsules. Again, if you eat a meal high in carbs or high in sugar, you may want to do 3. But the normal dose is 2 capsules before your major meals.
Yeah.
How soon do you start feeling the effects of not wanting sugar? For some people, it was right away. But everybody is different. I don't want to say it works that way for everybody. For some people, it may take a couple of days, but a lot of people had the effects rather quickly. Alan, was that your experience too?
That was my experience. And the biggest thing that I noticed too was having, and I don't know, maybe you can answer this, but a lot of people, and me being what they classified as pre-diabetic, we have sugar spikes at night. And so I'm a type person that I would sleep. I want to keep the thermostat on 68 or 69, the fan going, and I would get hot and sweaty. And then when my sugar spikes, I know I get hot and sweaty. And I noticed that taking the glucose the two before, that was the first thing I noticed, was taking two before bed changed that dramatically. Now, don't get me wrong, I keep the fan on low, but I was not near as hot at night, and I wasn't waking up. Yeah.
So sugar does rise during the night. One of the big ways you can tell if you have a glass of wine in the evening and you wake up in the middle of the night is because that sugar came up. So it has a lot to do with what you eat for dinner or what you snack on in the evening. I mean, that's the bottom line. So if you don't have the carbs in the evening, you take your Gluco-Control with your meal, it should reduce that because then it doesn't spike that much. Protein is something that I don't really eat in the evening. I do a lot of salads at night, Ellen, you know me. I do a lot of raw food and salads at night. I feel best with that. But it definitely has to do with what you eat at night. That sugar comes up and it wakes you up because sugar revs you up, right? Sugar makes you hyper. So sugar comes up and yes, you wake up at night. But I think if you take the Gluco-Control, like Alan says, he takes it before bed. I think it can really make a difference.
Yeah, I remember traveling the country in the motorhome, and you were always hunting for a salad around dinner time. So, yeah.
Yeah, love my salads. Is it safe more than take 4 a day? It does no harm. It does no harm. N-O, capital N, capital O. It is nothing but food. So you can
today myself personally.
Yeah, you can't overdose on it. I don't see how.
Yeah.
Can I take berberine with Gluco-Control, or is it overkill? Because they both address glucose levels. I would like to continue with berberine to help my mood swings and anxiety. So berberine is something that I was never able to take. It sent me into hypoglycemic state where I became literally disabled. And Alan knows about that. That was one of my concerns with Gluco-Control, that I would not be able to take that. Yes, you can take it together with berberine. The thing with the mood swings and the anxiety is still a blood sugar issue. So I think as you lose weight, whoever you are, as you lose weight, that will become better. If you want to increase the effects on the blood sugar, something that I have people do, we have a incredible fiber, an organic fiber. If I have my people with diabetes take a scoop of the fiber before they eat each meal, because fiber also helps to balance blood sugar. So that might help you as well. But yeah, no, you're not going to do overkill because Gluco-Control works completely different.
Several people have said they love the book, The Glucose Revolution, and Debbie was one of those. And then somebody said, can we have access to the slide presentation? And we upload, we're doing this presentation live on 4 different places right now. We're doing it in the Team Elevation group team page. We're doing it in the Destiny Unlimited team page. We're doing it on the Team Elevation YouTube channel. And then also we're doing it on Inge's personal YouTube channel as well. So 4 places that you can go back and rewatch this presentation and rewatch this video. The good thing about doing it on watching the recording is you can pause us while you go get something to drink or restroom, or you can shut us up if you want to or whatever. But it is recorded and it stays on here. And so,
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the last. We'll take. What time is it? Oh, we got another question here.
Can you continue to take metformin or Jardine's? Not sure if I spelled that right. Yeah, I don't think that's spelled right, but you can. The thing is that if you are taking medication from a doctor, please check your blood sugar. If you are on one of those automated systems that automatically, give you the medication through your skin, it may adapt that automatically. I am not familiar with how all that works. I assume that's how it works. But if not, I would definitely be watching my blood sugar because you may not need as much of those medications when you get on the Gluco-Control. And I hope that helps. Yeah.
And there's, I was looking for a minute and I didn't find it, but anyway. So let's see. No more.
I would like to add to that, just for legal reasons, that you want to work with your doctor, if you need to reduce any kind of medications that you're on.
Yeah. And what I was looking at is the ingredient label. And I'll tell you why, because in Inge, being a doctor yourself and working with people, when somebody walks in and says, can I take blah, 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 and you have no idea what that is, what the ingredients are, then it's hard for you to give an opinion.
Correct.
And so the same thing applies when you, and I'm not discouraging you from going to talk to your medical doctor or your medical practitioner, but here's what I would highly recommend is carry the bottle with you and have them look at the ingredient label. Because if you walk in and you say, hey, this company I'm with has a new product to regulate blood sugar and control blood sugar, can I take that with my metformin? They're going to probably say, I don't know, or I wouldn't recommend it, or no, because they have no idea what you're talking about.
Literally. And so in that case, I tell people I have a doctor here that I'm happy with, that I've sent a lot of people to, who is open to working with people who take supplements. So if your doctor doesn't want you on supplements, I suggest finding a doctor that will, because the medications do harm. The supplements do not do harm.
Right. This is food, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
There's no synthetic chemicals. There's no drugs. There's none of that stuff. No artificial anything.
No side effects.
No side effects. No contraindications of any conflict whatsoever. And so, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's got all the questions answered that I see. Inge, thanks for your time. Thanks for the presentation. Great information as always.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a blessed night. We appreciate it. And listen, the promotion is running through the end of the month. Today's the 21st. And you should have received an email with the link to purchase from your page or someone else's page. If you don't have the link or you're wanting to recommend it to somebody, look in your emails and you can find that link. I have posted the link on the group page. Now, I will say this. If you're sending it to someone, you want to change the link, my ID number to your ID number. That's all you have to do. The rest of it is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. I've posted it too, where I have Destiny Unlimited. You just put your website name on there. But yes, you can send, that's all you have to do to send it on to somebody. Like Alan says, it goes on till the end of the month. The links are everywhere. I'd be happy to help. I have made tons of links for a lot of people that have asked for help. We're happy to do that. Go forth, share the good news, and let's change this world to a better place.
Amen. And take advantage of buying the 5 or 10 bottles, because the promotion ends at the end of the month is what we're being told. And you want to take advantage of that savings. All right. Y'all have a great night. Thank you again.
Right.